Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Spring 2021 Women's CWPA Division I Championship Tournament at Donald B. Canham Natatorium in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Cap 7, and also the CWPA for these broadcasts. We hope you're having a great start to your Saturday so far. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. The date is April 24th, 2021. We have 4 games on tap for you in this 2021 Women's CWPA D1 Championship. Our first game is Game 1, our first of 2 semifinals, which features in the dark caps the top-seeded University of Michigan Wolverines, and in the white caps the 4th seed Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers of Emmitsburg, Maryland. And these programs are complete contrasts. You have Michigan, the 4-time defending CWPA Division I champion, 19-4 in the season, 6-0 in the conference, winners of 19 straight conference games, including prior conference championship tournament contests. Mount St. Mary's first season in program history yet to post a win, having given up at least 15 goals in each contest, having scored 8 and fewer in each. Michigan trying to become the second program in the history of the CWPA to win 5 consecutive CWPA titles. The last team to do so had been Slippery Rock, which had won an impressive 9 in a row from 1988 to 1996. The officials for this tournament are Alex Stankovic, Igor Murnenko, and Chad Packer. Stankovic is the head ref. There are only 4 teams in this tournament this season. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, George Washington originally planned on participating, however decided not to. And earlier in the school year, GW announced that after this school year would no longer have women's varsity water polo.
Welcome to the University of Michigan and to Canham Natatorium for the first game of the 2021 Collegiate Water Polo Association Championship, featuring Michigan and Mount St. Mary's. All games are broadcast live at CWPATV.com, so tell your friends and family they can catch all the action without ever leaving home. Please support the participants and officials in a positive manner. Anyone failing to do so may be removed from the pool. Also remember that alcohol and tobacco products within the competition site are prohibited. We would also like to thank our sponsors: Cap 7, the official ball of the CWPA; Turbo, maker of great water polo apparel; Healy Awards, the supplier of our championship plaques; and Fox 40, the official whistle for all competition.
So the last time we had a CWPA Division I Championship tournament was back in 2019. Since last season, the season had been put to a screeching halt due to the pandemic. 2019, Michigan won it all with a 14-7 win over Harvard in the semifinals, and then the title game 10-6 victory over Princeton that was in Providence, Rhode Island. This is Mount St. Mary's inaugural trip to this tournament. And Michigan really good here at Canham Natatorium in Ann Arbor, under the direction of head coach Dr. Marcelo Leonardi, who's in his 7th season. The Wolverines are 41-7 here at Canham, at the least. Have won 12 straight scheduled games here that have taken place. This is a tough place for foes to take down the Wolverines, and Michigan is on a roll. 12 straight victories this season. Hasn't lost since 7-6 overtime at San Diego State on March 7th. In each of the last 12 games, all wins, the Wolverines have posted at least 10 goals. In 10 of the 12. Also, Michigan is hard to take down in conference play. Winner of 19 straight CWPA Division I contests, having lost in conference competition since 2018. And we mentioned 4 straight CWPA Division I titles. However, each of the last 3 trips to the NCAA tournament have ended in one and done visits. 2017 lost to USC in its only matchup. 2018 lost to Cal Berkeley in its only matchup. In 2019, a 13-7 loss to UCLA. And you see the scoreboard here at Canham. It's pretty exciting that we are back with spectators. I believe a maximum of 70 fans per game are allowed. 35 passes issued to each team for each game. Here you see Mount St. Mary's University, coached by Alyssa Diacono and Justin Vink. Diacono is in her first season. San Diego State University alumna Marcel Leonardi. Dr. Leonardi's in the 7th season in Ann Arbor. So Michigan has scored 10-plus goals in 16 straight CWPA Division I games. Not only that, have yielded 9 or fewer in 29 consecutive conference games, both regular season and conference tournament, championship tournament combined, having allowed 10 or more goals in conference play since April 8th of 2017, a 16-10 win at Hartwick. We're about to get into the pool in a CWPA Division I Championship Tournament game for the first time since April 28th, 2019 in Providence, Rhode Island. Our officials, Alex Stankovic, Igor Murnenko, Chad Packer. Stankovic is the head ref. Mount St. Mary's in white will be swimming left to right. Michigan in dark, right to left. Winner of this game would advance to our first place game, which is scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Here's the opening sprint, won by Michigan, heading right to left in dark. Michigan is led by Maddie O'Reilly with 73 points, which includes 44 goals. Set inside, and 10 seconds in, it's Michigan in front, 1-0.
Michigan goal scored by number 7, Aaron Newstrom.
Aaron Newstrom credited with the goal.
Remaining in the first.
Oh, look at that feed. Wasted no time. So Newstrom with the goal makes it 1-0. Now the Mount on the attack, and it'll be turned over to the Wolverines. For Newstrom, that is her 22nd goal of the season. Michigan averaging a little under 12 goals a game, giving up just 6. Mount St. Mary's averaging under 5. The keeper, Rebecca Williams, has the post to her advantage. And a minute in, it's Michigan with the 1-0 lead, but the Mount on the attack. Michigan went 2-0 this season against Mount St. Mary's, both in conference play. 21-1 win on March 20th in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Then the following day at St. Francis, PA, the Wolverines defeated the Mount 16-2. Here comes Ann Rankin. Rankin dribbling, skip shot, and a bang! And it's 2-0. Michigan, thanks
Michigan
to Rankin.
Number 5, Ann Rankin.
Look at
Goal
Rankin.
comes with 6:32 remaining in the first.
And the wicket hops. It looked like she was heading right initially, decided to go left, and Williams could do nothing about it. Now this Mount St. Mary's team, perhaps the youngest team in all of the CWPA varsity ranks. Each of the field players on the roster are freshmen. Rebecca Williams, the lone player, not a freshman. She's a grad student from Pole, California. So 2-0 in favor of the Wolverines as the Mount on the attack now inside the 6-meter area. There are 3 players for the Mount with double figures this season, but they have been prone to turnovers. In fact, number 16 Riley Thompson entered the game with 48. Williams tipped that over the rope, and it will be a 2-meter from the 5 possession for Michigan. So top-seeded Wolverines lead this one 2-0. 27 in the shot clock, a little over 5.5 minutes to go in the first. Now to the flat, takes it. Oh, what a cash-in. It's 3-0 now.
Goal scored by number 11, Sophie Pontre.
Sophie Pontre, the senior from Perth, Australia. And look at this. Nice feed. 1, 2. Swisheroo. Now if you can look closely to the top right corner of your screen, you'll see the game clock over the shot clock, so we can tell you the total time. You get 35 seconds per possession. Here's Anna Louisa Cotta, who had the team's first goal in program history in a 17-7 loss to St. Francis back on March 6th of this season at Villanova University. Heidi Rittner, the goalkeeper, grad student from Newport Beach, California, with the outlet. She could shoot too. She has 1 goal on the season. It was a cross-pool score in a 15-6 win at Bucknell a couple weekends ago. That was toward the end of the third quarter. Oh, an inside shot, and Michigan out and running early. Nicely
Michigan
done for Newstrom.
Erin Newstrom, her second of the game. Goal coming with 4:41 remaining in the first.
So 4:41 to go, and Newstrom, no doubt about it, she was right in there. So Newstrom with 2, and Rankin and Pontre with 1 apiece. So we're under 4.5 minutes to go in the first. And Michigan in control. Michigan is coming off a 20-3 win over St. Francis on April the 11th. 5 on the shot clock, setting up inside, and it will be over the prize. It will be a goal throw for Rittner. Rittner with the outlet. Then also watch out at some point for her sister Emily, who wears number 9. One sealed out of play. Goal throw for Rebecca Williams, and the Mount heading left to right in white. Winner of this tournament will book a trip to Los Angeles as the opening round of the NCAA tournament scheduled for Wednesday, May 12th at UCLA's Speaker Aquatic Center. So 3 in the shot clock now. We'll take a lob to the corner to avert a shot clock violation. Early possession, Michigan heading right to left in dark. Wolverines trying to win their 20th straight conference game, and Williams yet again unable to stop
Michigan
the
goal
blows.
scored by number 10, Libby Elson
And it's
Gates.
Libby
Her goal
Elson
comes with
Gates,
3:13
the freshman from
remaining
New
in the
Zealand. Look at this. Getting defended. Looked like by either Madison Shizubleski or Annalisa Kata, but no bother for Alcemgeest. Alcemgeest has been quite an offensive threat this season. That's her 29th goal of the season. Michigan right now really pulling the stops right now, making it very difficult for the Mount, which has scored in all 13 of its contests this season, yet 0 wins to show. There is a foul called on Michigan. It'll be our first power play opportunity. 6-on-5 here for the Mount.
Michigan exclusion, number 10, Lydia Alcemgeest.
Alcemgeest with her first exclusion foul. Player gets free, will be unable to return. Setting up inside from the point. We'll take a wet pass. Even strength now. Now from the right side, under 10 on the shot clock. And that will go out of play, I believe, by Madison Shezabluski. It will be a goal throw for Rittner. Rittner isn't the only goalkeeper who could really do a great job in the cage for Michigan. They also have Alex Brown and Sophie Jackson. Those two have combined for an 8-1 record, making 110 saves and conceding 56 tallies. So Dr. Leonardi has a lot of additional goalies to use in their arsenal. So under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, Michigan in dark leads it 5-0 here in Ann Arbor in the first quarter of our first of 2 semis. Confiscation coming from around the 6-meter area of the Michigan end. Now dribbling right to left in dark. Kata Atasi was inside. That wasn't her who shot it. I think that was Kayla Barone who sailed it out of play. Williams now with a quick outlet. 1:10 left in the first. Lauren Thomas. I believe that's back to Kata. That was Shizabruski, sorry. Back to Thomas. Thomas, 7 goals on this season. A lot of hollering from the Mount bench and nowhere close to target. That was wide right. Under a minute now in the first. 4 different Wolverines have scored. Now inside here, right at Williams, was Sophie Tavani. Williams coming into the day with 118 saves. She has been quite busy defending the pipes. It was blocked down, shot clock's unplugged, so should be the last possession if Michigan chooses to keep it. And there'll be an offensive foul. Williams with the outlet to Kata, and that will do it for the first quarter of play.
After the first quarter of play, the score, Michigan 5.
It's Michigan in dark 5. Mount St. Mary's the 4 seed in white nothing. Alcemgeest, Pontre, and Rankin have solo tallies. Neustrom with 2 apiece. The 4-time defending champs lead this one after 1 quarter, 5-0.
Hi, I'm Jack Bowen, and here's this week's goalie tip of the week. Today we're going to take a look at attacking a front court offense when you have a right-handed player at the left-handed wing. And one of the things that we want to think about as goalies is always honoring the shooter, but also thinking a half a step ahead of them. So when you have a right-handed player at a bad angle down on this side of the pool, instead of honoring them at the perfect geometric angle here, we can cheat back and still honor the shooter. Because if I'm here and he makes a pass across the field of play, I'm hung out to dry. And so instead, I'm going to cheat off of him a little bit geometrically to here. Now you can see my body's still honoring him. I'm not here or on my back. My shoulders are squared to the shooter. But if I'm in a game situation now and he makes the pass here, I'm set on the shooter. Whereas if he shoots, my body is still balanced to make the save. For more goalie tips, check out Collegiate Water Polo Association's video library.
Be sure to check out our new CWPA Remote Series Professional Edition on the CWPA YouTube channel. We have Olympian George Gross Jr. interviewing water polo alumni from a variety of schools and professions. We take a look at how water polo helped them in college and beyond. New episodes come out every week. On Thursday, be sure to like and subscribe. So the number 7 ranked Michigan Wolverines, the top seed in our CWPA D1 Championship tournament, lead this one 5-0, thanks to 2 goals from Newstrom and 1 apiece from Rankin, Pontre, and Alsum Geest. Michigan 5 goals on 11 shots. Mount St. Mary's 0 of 3. 1 exclusion in the first quarter that was on Libby Alsum Geest of Michigan. And there have not been any cards in this one. Winner of this game will take on the winner of our second of 2 semifinals, which is scheduled to take place at 1 p.m. Eastern today. 2 seed Bucknell and 3 seed St. Francis. The loser will take on the loser of that game at around 4 p.m. Eastern for 3rd place. This is the first time in Dr. Marcello Leonardi's tenure at Michigan. This is the 7th season in which the Wolverines are hosting the CWPA Championship tournament. Wolverines were supposed to host in 2020, but the season come to a screeching halt due to the coronavirus pandemic. Mount St. Mary's in white, going left to right, and heading right to left in dark is Michigan, which controls the ball. Entering this game, Michigan on the 12-game win streak had outscored foes 173-50. An average of 14.4 to 4.2 a game. Now taking from the point. Now to the right side. Back up to Ella Abbott. In there for Emily Byrne. Shot clock is winding down. That's Allison Locke. But got locked up and taken away by Mount St. Mary's. The Mount does get its share of steals, though. Hasn't been able to capitalize on many this season. I believe once had a game in which there were 11 confiscations. Lost to LaSalle, if I'm not mistaken. 18-8 on March 14th. Rittner with it. Now inside 2 meters, and enemy territory is Michigan. Set up inside, beautifully done. Lost the handle. Ordinary foul. That's Sammy Monroe now with it. Freshman out of Pleasant Hill, California. From long range. Doinked by the crossbars, so fresh 35 and another possession. Monroe. Then inside, another one off the crossbar. The sweep! What a finish! It's 6-0 Michigan.
Michigan goal scored by number 15, Elise Walker.
How about Elise Walker with her first? Williams
remaining in the second.
Went way out in front, had that deflected. And Walker able to get her first of the contest to make it 6-0. And for Walker, that's her 13th of the season. An ordinary foul for the Mount, heading left to right. Picked off. That's by Allison Locke, the freshman out of Superior Township, Michigan. Rittner now with the outlet. Good feed to Byrne. But that was short, wet, secured by Williams. Rittner, about 60% save clip this season. Entering the game 11-3. And Michigan 19-4, 6-0 in the conference. Mount St. Mary's 0-13, 0-6 in CWPA. It's April 24th, 2021. Whoa, what a buzz shot there.
Michigan goal scored by number 6, Sammy Monroe.
7-0. How about Sammy Monroe?
7 remaining in the second.
And Monroe, point blank. Monroe doesn't get that many touches. In fact, that's her 7th of the season, to make it 7-0 in favor of the host Wolverines, ranked number 7 in the nation. And the strength of schedule for Michigan this season could make the Wolverines a potential threat in the NCAA tournament, which is scheduled for a couple of weeks from now in Los Angeles. We'll leave possession back to Rittner and Michigan, which had 5 in the first, now 2 in the second. Mount St. Mary's, in a game that had gone the full distance, that has not been forfeited, has yet to been shut out. Mount St. Mary's men's program finished 3rd in the MAWPC West in winter 2021, also coached by Alyssa Diacono. First power play for Michigan now. And that didn't take long. And it's 8-0 Wolverines. Look at that. I'm open. Casey Umloff. Hello.
Goal scored by number 24, Casey Umloff.
Umloff, the freshman from Northfield, Minnesota, with 4 minutes and change to go.
For Mount St. Mary's was Ana Luisa Cata, number 6.
In the first, Ana Luisa Cata, her first exclusion foul. Only 2 exclusion fouls total in this one. Now the Mount is looking for an answer with 3:45 to go. It will be on its second power play opportunity. 0-1 so far. Grace Harbaugh.
Michigan exclusion, number 22.
Excluded.
Grace Harbaugh.
That's her first. Now we'll take another dry pass. Becomes wet near the point, near 6 meters. Big beater now for Shiverswski. A shot by Lauren Thomas is right of the cage. So 0 for 2 on the player advantage is Mount St. Mary's. Again, the Mount has allowed 15 or more goals in all of its games this season and has scored 8 or fewer in all. In Michigan, during its 12-game win streak, has allowed 5 or fewer goals 10 times. And Michigan, with the clock running out,
goal scored by number 15,
gets another.
Elise Walker.
It's Elise Walker with her second.
Coming with 2:56 remaining in the second.
And look at Walker, wide opening on the left. And Banks, the rubber,
Timeout,
actually
Mount
the
St.
nylon.
Mary's.
Mount St. Mary's calls timeout, first of the game. Under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. It's number 7 Michigan, the top seed in the dark 9. Mount St. Mary's, the 4 seed in the white 0. And we'll take a breather as well. The CWPA YouTube channel is your #1 video source for everything water polo. Check out Tip of the Week series, inside water movements, highlights, game of the week, and more. Visit youtube.com and search CWPA Water Polo. It's championship weekend around the United States Collegiate Women's Water Polo Circuit. We also got conference tournament, championship tournament action in the Western Water Polo Association, WWPA, at McKendree University, and right now in bracket play in the second period. Number 3 seed McKendree and number 2 seed Mercyhurst have a 2-2 contest. We have regular season MAAC action. In the first quarter, Marist leads Iona 5-0. So out of Alyssa Diacono's first time out, the Mount has it with 2:43 to go in the first half. 5 in the first, 4 in the second for Michigan, which looks to not stop anytime soon. Has scored double figures in 16 straight conference games. One more would make it 17. And here come the Wolverines dribbling right to left in dark. Williams can't push it aside. And Michigan's got another double-digit game.
Michigan goal scored by number 22,
10-0.
Grace Harbaugh.
Grace Harbaugh
Her goal comes with 2:12 remaining.
playing
in the
soft
half.
toss. And for Harbaugh, that's her first goal. 8 different players have scored for Michigan, and Rankin and Aaron Newstrom have 2 apiece. And surprisingly, the leading scorer for the regular season for Michigan, Maddie O'Reilly, has not yet gotten on the board in terms of goals, leading the team with 44. Now the Mount on the attack. Will retain possession. We'll set it up to the point. Skip shot. And that goes to the warm-up pool. Goal throw for Rittner. Maddie O'Reilly, though, number 20 in dark, has 3 assists. That gives her 32 on the season. Here's Emily Byrne. As there's not much time left, 1:20 or so left in the first half. It's been all Michigan. 5 in the first, 5 in the second. 7 on the shot clock. 10 goals on 19 shots. Be a fresh 35 since it's a power play to come. And Louisa Cotta with the exclusion. That's her second. So she'll probably have to take a seat. She is the leading scorer with 19 goals. Off the post. Right mindset. At the angle just a little shy. Michigan unfortunate there. About 40 seconds left here in the first half. 10-0. Top-seeded Michigan over 4th-seeded Mount St. Mary's. Michigan going for its 10th CWPA title in program history. Four seconds left on the shot clock. Trying to set it up, taking it back. And now there's 20 seconds left in the first half. So Mount St. Mary's will be going into halftime with nothing to show for. Really a mismatch right now. Not a lot of time left. Digging ahead. Will pull the trigger, blocked by Williams, and that is the end of the first half. 16 minutes are in the books, and it's been a dandy for the hometown fans here in Ann Arbor. After 2 quarters of play, it's top-seeded Michigan in the dark 10 and 4-seed Mount St. Mary's in white 0. Rankin and Newstrom have 2 apiece. Monroe, Alcemgeist, Pontray, Walker, Harbaugh, and Umlauf with solo tallies. Grace Harbaugh has 1 exclusion. Libby Alcemgeist has an exclusion. Mount has no goals, but Anna Luisa Kutta has 2 exclusions. 10 of 21 on shots. Mount has 0 of 5. 2 exclusions apiece. 1 of 2 in the power play for Michigan. 0 for 2 for the Mount. It is halftime, and Mount St. Mary's has a lot of work to do against the 4-time defending champs.
Hi, my name is Kelly Mann, and I played for Stanford and currently for the New York Athletic Club. Let's ramp up the degree of difficulty on our off-the-water shots by adding a defender. So let's talk about which of our 3 shots we would do based on where the defender is on your body. So if the defender's on your weak side, so for me I'm right-handed, that would be defender on my back but more on my left side, I would typically do the first shot we worked on, which is our basic underwater pickup, be able to maneuver the ball, and I typically would do a double leg kick away from the defender and then follow through on my shot. If the defender is on my opposite side, so I'm right-handed and they're on my strong side, so they're on the side with my arm, I wouldn't want to do that shot because they could get a hold of my elbow and hit it down and my shot would end up going up. So that's one of the ones where I would probably do more of a tee shot or a quick screw shot. Really fast, stays in front of me, and the defender really can't mess with it too much. If they do try to, it would typically be called a penalty, so you'll get a shot out of it anyway. And the last one, if the defender is directly on your back, that might be an opportunity too for you to take advantage of that and almost stroke even more, maybe a little bit longer, because the referee, if the defender's directly on your back like a backpack, is bound to call some sort of kick out. So to make sure to let go of the ball for a second, take a couple more strokes. If they're still not calling anything, then getting a quick shot off, whether it's a quick tee shot or just popping it up and pushing it off of the water. That's what I would do when a defender's directly on my back. Let's always remember, keep your hips up, elbows high, use that wrist, and get it off quick before your defender comes down on you.
Cap 7 is the premier water polo provider, specializing in all your water polo needs. Visit cap7.com to find the gear you need to take your game to the next level. Cap 7 is a proud sponsor of the CWPA network. Got some Cascada playing in the background here. Evacuate the dance floor. If you're Mount St. Mary's, you gotta evacuate Michigan's goal spree right now. It's 10-0 Wolverines with 8 separate goal scorers, and Rankin and Aaron Newstrom with 2 apiece to lead the 4-time defending CWPA D1 champion Wolverines. Dr. Marcelo Leonori has to feel pretty good about his team's chances so far. So after this game at around 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time would be our second of two semifinals, Game 2. It will be between 2-seed Bucknell and 3-seed St. Francis. St. Francis at 9 and 11, 2 and 4 in the conference. Bucknell 7 and 3 overall, and 4 and 2 in the conference. Gotta be careful if you're St. Francis, because Bucknell has a great 1-2 punch. You have Ali Ferrano, who is the program's all-time leading scorer with, I believe, 288 goals. And then you have Kelly Hyam, the daughter of LaSalle head coach Tom Hyam, who has 40 goals this season, and I believe 5 goals away from 200. So 5 away from a top 5 spot in the program's history. Ali Ferrano with 375 career points as well, second in Bucknell history, behind Candace Kanonica with 423. Bucknell has secured at least one win in each CWPA Championship appearance since 2009, winning its opening round game 4 times since 2012. So it'll be exciting to see that. But for St. Francis, freshmen Emiz Sukes and Jenna Handali have combined for 5 Rookie of the Week awards, 3 Player of the Week awards, and 3 honor roll nods. And Sukes apparently has scored at least 1 goal in all 20 games this season for the Red Flash. So, you know, Bucknell has gone 2-0 this season against St. Francis. Red Flash trying to make things difficult for the Bison. But right now we got Michigan and the Mount to start the second half. Just like the first half, Mount St. Mary's in white will be swimming left to right, and Michigan in dark, right to left. And it looks like the Mount right now, we're keeping back. Let Michigan win the sprint. And Louisa Kata has 2 exclusion fouls for Mount St. Mary's. Gets 1 more, she will be out of it. Now to the point is Michigan. Take it to the side. That's Sophie Devaney. Up top now. Will fire off the crossbar. Back to reality. And the Mount have possession going left to right in white. Mount St. Mary's so far 0-5 on shots. Michigan 10 of 22. And the Wolverines allowing 5 or fewer goals in 10 of the last 12 games. It's a 12-game win streak for Michigan. Its longest since a couple of years ago when Michigan won 20 straight at one point. 7 on the shot clock. Fires! Rittner! If it's her, it's back to the side. Actually, that's Alex Brown coming into the game, making that 2-handed push aside. So it'll be 2-beater for the Mount. 6:50 to go in the third. Mount St. Mary's has a lot of work to do. You're watching the CWPA Division I Women's Varsity Championship Tournament 2021 on CWPATV.com. And I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss, calling the action from the CWPA headquarters due to health and safety protocol. And Michigan is still not done yet. It's 11-0. That's Libby Alsemgeest.
Michigan goal scored by number 10, Libby Alsemgeest, her second of the game.
First second of the game.
With 6:30 remaining in the third.
6.5 minutes to go in the third. For Alsemgeest, the freshman has 30 on the season, which is third most on the team. Kata Atasi, also a freshman, has 32. And now Wolverines with more business to attend. Williams way out in front, and it has nothing to stop it.
Michigan goal scored by
And
number
it's
9,
now
Emily
12-0. How about Emily
goal coming
Rittner?
with 6 minutes to go in the third.
Way out in front. And it was a gift. Empty netter. Michigan now has 5 in the first, 5 in the second, 0 and 2 in the third. Mount has none, and oh boy, looks like we have a player who has to get tended to for the Mount. Looks like we have a trainer for the Mount.
Timeout, Michigan.
Michigan will call timeout. That's a great job by Dr. Marcelo Leonardi. Good sportsmanship. So it looks like there is an injury in Leonardi with his team up by 12, giving them out all the time it needs to recoup. Did you know CollegiateWaterPolo.org is now mobile friendly? Check out CollegiateWaterPolo.org to stay up to date on league news, schedules, and new initiatives as we continue to grow the sport of water polo. Five in the first, 5 in the second, 2 in the third for Michigan. Michigan has 3 players with 2 goals apiece. Aaron Neustrom. Actually, I believe has quite a few goals with a couple. Got multiple players with goals. Neustrom, Alsemgeest, Walker, Harbaugh, Umlauf, Emily Rittner, Pontre, Monroe, Heidi Whitner. Appear to not have made any saves in the first half because she hasn't faced many shots. She also had a steal. And Alex Brown, the sophomore from Clayton, California, come in relief. Made 1 save so far for Michigan. 5 saves for Rebecca Williams for Mount. 12 goals allowed. Williams is the lone non-freshman for the Mount, as all the field players for Mount St. Mary's are first-year students for a first-year program, and Mount St. Mary's going to take time to adjust and get to where it wants to. And right now, hopefully, the player for Mount St. Mary's, which had the apparent injury, able to recover and get back in. And while we wait on the NCAA scoreboard in WWPA action in the third quarter, McKendree, the host, leads Mercyhurst 5-2 in WWPA Championship tournament play. In MAAC action second quarter, Marist leads Iona 7-3. Also in MAAC, Siena and Virginia Military Institute knotted at 9 apiece in the second quarter. Boy, defenses are struggling in that one. 12-0 Michigan. And there's an offensive foul called on the Mountaineers, so the Wolverines back with the possession. Aaron Neustrom and Libby Alsemgeest entered the game with 49 combined goals on 101 shots and 54 drawn exclusions. Neustrom and Alsemgeest had a lot to say in this one. Each have scored at least a goal. Becca Williams now will have the outlet for Mount St. Mary's, which is still looking for its first win in program history. It is believed that the Mount has lost by double digits in each of its 13 games. Michigan called for an exclusion, so Mount St. Mary's will be on its third 6-on-5. That's Elise Walker with the exclusion.
Number 15, Elise Walker.
It's believed to be her first. Now taking from the point, Thomas. Shizabuski skipped right to Brown. And still Mount St. Mary's, even with a new goalkeeper for Michigan, still can't find the target. And it won't get easier come next season if restrictions are not as strict and more programs are allowed to play. Only 4 teams have come to this tournament. Wide left, goal throw for Williams. Because then we might see Brown, Harvard, Princeton. Those are some tough programs as well. Michigan's last CWPA Championship tournament game before this one was on April 28th, 2019. 10-6 championship game win over Princeton. And during this 4 consecutive titles for Michigan, a couple times had to face Ashley Johnson of Princeton, Team USA goalkeeper. Johnson even won the Catino Award one season. Not easy to do it at the Ivy League institution of Princeton. Now it's Michigan inside enemy territory. Around 2 meters. Faking the pass. Well, Saluli had been open, not now. We'll take it. And no matter what, Michigan will cash in. It's 13-0. It's Kathy Rogers first. And look at this. Rogers was looking for a teammate, instead took it on her own, and she said, I'll get this. So, 2 minutes and change to go in the third. It's 13-0. Michigan. Michigan with 7 goals would make it 20. And that would be back-to-back games with 20 goals. Michigan hasn't done that in a while, if even. Now, Mount St. Mary's. Down at Baker's Dozen. Turn it over. Michigan will get it back. Michigan has played against ranked opponents over 15 times this season. Michigan is number 7 in the nation and the top seed of this tournament. Michigan defeated a top 5 team earlier this season, number 4 Arizona State, at an ASU tournament. Well, that had a lot of top spin to it. And there's another for the Wolverines.
Scored by number 7, Aaron Nystrom.
Nystrom with another. And it's now 14-0. Look at Nystrom with a hand by the defender and the wide open right side. 5 in the first, 5 in the second, 4 in the third for Michigan. Mount St. Mary's still looking for its first ever tally in a CWPA Championship tournament contest. Stolen away close to mid-pool. That's by Kata Atasi, freshman from Budapest, Hungary. Now to the right side, Michigan doesn't need to be in a particular hurry right now. We'll turn it over. It does appear Michigan will advance to the title game for the 14th time, pardon. 4 titles, 4 runner-up finishes, 9 titles, trying to make it 5 straight CWPA titles. Now Mount St. Mary's with it. A win here by Michigan would be 12 straight CWPA Championship Tournament victories. Thomas' shot was blocked. And it will be a shot clock violation on the Mountaineers. Actually, I believe
Michigan exclusion number 23, Kata Itase.
the Mount got it back. Kata Itase
Timeout, Mount St. Mary's.
with her first exclusion. Timeout, the Mount St. Mary's with under 50 seconds to play. In the third quarter, it's Michigan leading 14-0 in the Dark Caps over the Mount.
Cap 7 is a small company that started out of the back of our garages, and we were doing clinics and camps around the country. We pride ourselves as a company with Cap 7 and Turbo to sponsor as much and give back to the sport as much as we can. Last year we gave over $250,000 back to the sport, and all our products are built by water polo players and for water polo players.
Michigan is 14 of 27, shooting at 51.9%. Mount is 0 of 8 on shots. 4 exclusions for the Wolverines, 2 for Mount St. Mary's. 0 of 4 on the 6 on 5 for the Mount. 1 of 2 on the power play for Michigan. There have been no penalty fouls. Aaron Newstrom credited with 3 goals to lead all scorers. So 6 on 5 here after the Kata Itase exclusion. Now 50 seconds left in the third. Shizabuski, Kata skips shot. Still no answer. Alex Brown will look to outlet. The Mount is 0 of 4, had been 0 of 3. Now, the forward pass. We'll take it back to the half-distance area. Egbeater motion. Leva Morant is also there. There's Kathy Rogers, who has a tally brought back to play. Nelson Geist, Rogers.
After 3 quarters of play, the
That will
score,
do
Michigan
it.
14, Mount St. Mary's 0.
After 24 minutes of play, it's the top-seeded Michigan Wolverines in the dark 14, and the 4th-seed Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers in the white 0. Michigan 7 minutes away from making its 5th straight CWPA Championship title game appearance.
I am Wolf Weigo, co-founder of Cap 7. I'm going to talk about the Cap 7 skip ball. It's a great little ball for kids to play with for a number of reasons. It's soft, bounces really well, just a lot of fun. Everyone I've ever given one of these to, random people, not even water polo people, they say this is the best ball. Their kid loves it more than any ball. Get yours at cap7.com today and enjoy your skipping.
You're watching the CWPA broadcast brought to you by Cap 7.
Hi, I'm Wolf Weiger with Cap 7. There's one more quarter to go in this game. 4th quarter coming up now.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter for all the latest updates on what is happening around the league. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at CWPA Water Polo as well, and be sure to check out our YouTube page for tons of water polo content. It's been all Michigan, 24 minutes into the contest, and Michigan has appeared to have at least 9 or 10 of scorers in this one, with Aaron Newstrom leading the way with 3 tallies. Heidi Rittner had played the first half in the goal, and Alex Brown has played ever since, making a couple saves. Rebecca Williams, 6 saves in all 24 minutes for the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. After this game, we'll have a little bit of a recess, and then around 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time would be Game 2. Our second of two semifinals should be a good one. 2-seed Bucknell and 3-seed St. Francis. The Red Flash have never defeated the Bison, so maybe the first time for everything would come here. Glad you have joined us here at the Donald B. Canham Natatorium, the campus of the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Scott S.D. Weiss here on CWPATV.com. Great to have the music pumping. Spectators, albeit limited in the seats. We weren't sure if we could have spectators for this tournament, but fortunately, circumstances permitted for us to have around 70 per game. Michigan will win the sprint, begin our final regulation period. So it appears Michigan would head to the first place game for the 5th straight time, and Mount St. Mary's will go for third. The Mount's still looking for program win number 1, and still goal number 1 in this game. That was Emily Byrne. 7 on the shot clock. Byrne with it back. Byrne has it blocked in the field. Williams now will have the outlet. And it looks like this will be the 13th straight win at Canham Natatorium for Michigan. In the fourth quarter, 5 in the first, 5 in the second, 4 in the third. About 2 hands full of Wolverines with at least 1 goal. Thomas, and that will be a shot clock violation. Right now, Michigan 14 of 30 on goal. The Mount 0 of 9. 2 exclusions for the Mount, both by Ana Luisa Cata. She has been careful since picking those 2 in the second quarter. An opportunity here for Allison Locke. Here comes Ella Abbott. Take a wet pass. Abbott. 25 on the shot clock. Set up inside. Lost the handle. That was Umlauf. Umlauf got it back. Abbott. Now at the point. Now thinking about pulling the trigger. Locke. Setting inside. Now they'll fire. That will sail away. Williams will look to outlet, heading left to right and white for Mount St. Mary's of Emmitsburg, Maryland. Mount is where I believe former Jeopardy champion had or currently teaches in mathematics. I've been involved in the only freeway tie in Jeopardy history, a man by the name of Scott Weiss. No relation to me. I'm Scott S.D. Weiss. And that was at least 14 years ago, which there was the lone freeway tie on the American game show Jeopardy. 14-0 Michigan, and the Wolverines are hungry to make the fans even happier, and that's a good one. It's 15-0. Another reason to be happy. It's Umlauf with her second. And look at Umlauf. Man, that's stifling coverage by Szuzabrewski, and banged it with the skipper. Straight ahead. And it's now 15-0. Number 7, Michigan, the top seed over 4 seed Mount St. Mary's. Michigan trying to have his first shutout of the season. Mount St. Mary's has never been shut out in a contested game. So Michigan on the verge of improving its win streak to 13 games. Mount St. Mary's will drop to 0-14. And it's very hard to see Michigan have trouble in the first place game against Bucknell or St. Francis. However, on any given day, even the teams that aren't known for being in contention have their finest days. Now the outlet from Williams, with time running out here in game number 1. Dr. Marcelo Leonori has to be really pleased with his team's effort. 7th game this season here at Canham Natatorium for the Wolverines. First since March 27th. Oh, what a block down by Brown. That looked like that was heading into the left corner of the cage. And the shutout is still preserved. On March 27th, defeated Salem twice, 19-2 and 16-5. Michigan started the season back in February with a 4-0 mark at the Michigan Invitational, with wins over Indiana twice and single wins over Salem and St. Francis, PA. That was a non-conference one. Williams able to tip it away and get it herself. 3 players for Mount St. Mary's with double figures in goals on the season. Kata had 19, Emily Van Kerkhove 13, and Riley Thompson 11. Problem is, more turnovers than goals. Skip shot is recovered by Brown. Couple minutes left here. Does not appear Michigan will get 20 goals in this one. Doesn't need to. Be a much tougher affair in the first place game against either Bucknell or St. Francis. Bucknell with 2 of its top 10 goal scorers of all time, including Ali Ferrano, who has the most in program history, I believe 12 shy of 300 goals. And Callie Hyam is a few goals away, I believe, from 200. So it could be a goal explosion from Bucknell in the games ahead. Now here comes Mount St. Mary's, the Mountaineers, swimming left to right in white with 0 goals. And that one was heading to Emmitsburg, Maryland. Brown will have it. This will be the 3rd straight game in the books that Michigan has at least 15 goals. This will be the 11th time in this win streak Michigan will have 10 or more on offense. This will also be the 12th straight game which the opposition has 9 or fewer goals. That's to the right side, and there's another one banged. It's 16-0 for the Wolverines. That's Barone. Kayla Barone for first. And we take a look at Barone's tally. Looked like she thought about going left, instead went right, and had Williams puzzled. That's believed to be Barone's first of the contest. Barone has gotten some scores. This is her 8th of the season. Alex Brown thought that was coming right to her, instead over the target. Under 2 minutes to play in regulation. And not an ideal start for Mount St. Mary's in its first ever CWPA Championship Tournament contest. Haven't been many shutouts in CWPA conference action in the history. This will be the first time the Mount will be held scoreless in a contested game unless it gets something here. Trying to set up inside, taken away. Shot clock's unplugged. So the Wolverines, a complete game to do it in front of spectators. And time is about to expire in Game 1. What a job by Marcelo Leonardi. And that will do it. For the first time in program history, Mount St. Mary's is shut out, and Michigan, for the fifth straight time, will be headed for the CWPA Championship title game. The final score in Game 1, Michigan in dark 16. And the 4 seed, Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers in white 0. There have been at least 9 or 10 scorers in this one. Aaron Newstrom with 3 goals. The other scorers include Barone, Rankin, Monroe, Taffy Rogers, Emily Rittner, Libby Elsengeese, Sophie Pontre, Elise Walker, Grace Harbaugh, Kata Atasi, and Casey Umlauf. Mount St. Mary's did not have any goals. Let's look at our stats provided by the Fosh.net. UM 16 of 37 for 43.2 shooting clip. The Mount 0 of 13. 2 exclusions for the Mount, both by Anna Louisa Kata. 4 exclusions for Michigan. Power play 0 of 4 for the Mount. 1 of 2 for Michigan. And there were no penalty fouls. So again, the final score here is top seeded Michigan in the dark 16. 4 seed Mount St. Mary's in the white 0. Michigan advances to the 2021 CWPA D1 title game at 7 p.m. Eastern today against either Bucknell or St. Francis, while Mount St. Mary's will play for third place against the loser of Bucknell and St. Francis today at 4 p.m. Eastern, circumstances permitting. Next game up, ladies and gentlemen, would feature 2-seed Bucknell and 3-seed St. Francis at around 1 p.m. Eastern for our second of 2 semifinals. Stay tuned and check out our website, collegiatewaterpolo.org, to stay up to date on league news, schedules, streaming info, and new initiative as we continue to grow the sport of water polo. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you in a few hours for more Spring 2021 Women's Division I Varsity Championship Tournament action on the CWPA Network.